As the first Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Dr. Harry Gianneschi had an incredible vision for Metro State that lives on in the Plain and Fancy Ball, a Christmas card to the city, and even our newly relocated Center for Visual Art. His foresight, energy, and passion for Metro State's mission to educate those who might not otherwise have the opportunity to earn a college degree has solidified his legacy.
Metro State was a very special place to my father, and for him it was a special place. For him, he felt very strongly that there had to be an institution that served those that had been told that college wasn't for them. And he was very strident that there had to be a place that remained accessible to those that were willing to commit the effort to accomplish their goals from an academic standpoint. And Metro State fulfilled that. Yeah, Plain and Fancy Ball was one of my dad's favorite events. I'd ask you to remember my father the way that I remember my father, in that he was a person who he understood that there was a way in which great things could happen from ordinary people.
For Dr. Gianneschi, it was all about the students. Everything he did was to make the atmosphere that they came to learn in more conducive to education. I would say he also saw Metro as a place of potential growth and opportunity, and he constantly wanted to support its programs and promote excellence. Dr. Gianneschi was a leader. He was an organizer. He was modern. He was energetic and youthful. And I think he is one of the people that propelled Metro State into the 21st century. He would be proud of it, enthusiastic, and he would be our biggest cheerleader.
All in all, Dick, life is very good, and we're enjoying it to the fullest. One of the real joys of life, of course, is to have happy memories of friends and times gone by. Of my years in Colorado, I can't think of happier times than I had with you driving up 70 and spending the weekend days at ski resorts. I remember fondly our drives back down at the end of the skiing day when we played Willie Nelson tapes and often stated, "Life doesn't get any better than this." In retrospect, we were right on the money, my friend.
Harry Gianneschi's can-do attitude ensured he will always be remembered at Metro State for making us see the possibilities of what this institution could become, and for that we will be forever grateful.
I think one of the best experiences was our participation with the Pacesetter program. And I was looking for something like the Pacesetters, and we were trying to create it. Instead of looking to see what was already out there, we were trying to create our own Pacesetter program. We go to Metro, it's already there. All we have to do is participate. So I think that's my story of how we really first got involved with Metro, was through Pacesetters and the work that Metro State does for children of color. I don't think there's another institution in the state that's doing as great a job or as good a job as Metro State.
When I think of Pat and I think of her legacy, I think of a Nike poster that I have in my office, and it goes something like this, that when it's all said and done, it won't make any difference what the value of your car, your house, or how much is in your bank account, but it will make a difference if you've made a difference in the life of a child. And I think that describes Pat very well.
You know, Pat has long been admired as a champion of education. She's a strong advocate for those who lack the resources. Pat Cortez makes me want to be a better person, and I am lucky to have received the gift of friendship from this amazing woman. Congratulations, Pat.
she touches education, and it always has in many, many ways. So it's important to her. Pat's legacy really is her ability to navigate within all the different community groups. Last year she represented Wells Fargo with over 1,000 not-for-profits, and many of which are involved in some fashion or another with education. And she just has the ability to partner with all those groups and come up with year after year creative ways to help the bank be supportive in Colorado. So she's one of the best, if not the best, at doing that.
I became the chair, and all of this happened right around 9/11. And when 9/11 happened, I did this deep study, trying to grab every history book I could on the Middle East and Afghanistan, and I came away from those reads with a couple of conclusions. And the first was that if you can't get education right for your people, if you don't have accessible education, and particularly if you're not reaching out to women and minorities, that is a prescription for a failed state. And I came away with the conclusion that, you know, Metro's mission is open, accessible, and affordable education. And with that, I really got committed after 2001.
Obviously, it's very important to him, or he wouldn't have signed up for the board of directors for the foundation and put all the many hours in that he put in as serving on various committees, and then eventually becoming chairman of the board. And he became chairman at a time that was very difficult for the foundation, and I think the foundation today owes him a great deal. And but again, I think any member of the foundation board has a great interest in education, or they wouldn't be there.
And education is a top priority for him as a result of where he invests his both time and treasure. I think his legacy does revolve around education. He does contribute to the Pacesetter scholarships, so he does help students financially. But I also think about his ability to finally find the correct building for the Center for Visual Arts. And that was a project that was 10 years in the making, or maybe even longer. So kudos to Ray for getting that done.
I know that Ray's parents stressed the importance of education to Ray and his brothers throughout their childhood. And I know that Ray continues to grow intellectually. He's an avid reader, and he enjoys books that, you know, none of us would consider pleasurable, such as philosophy, religion, world politics. He gets a lot of joy in that. And I also know that he thinks that education is the way that we're going to change this world. And I think that's why Metro State's cause is so important and so rewarding. Ray, congratulations. It's a very, very well-deserved award. Enjoy the evening and enjoy the spotlight.
Then one day, Sweet Johnson and John Meadows showed up in my office and said, "Hey, Leo, it's time to plug into Denver, right?" Are you ready to go? It was really John Meadows who said, look, there really is only one place to do this, and that's Metro State. He said it is the school of opportunity in Colorado, and certainly it's our Denver College of Opportunity. And by plugging into Metro State, you really make a statement about multiculturalism and diversity of all kinds. Maybe the most fun part of the work we did was realizing, at least in our time, you know, we were building the mosaic one brick at a time for Metro, and each brick was a student.
Diverse urban institution like Metro, because he certainly realized that this was an important aspect of the Colorado workforce. We came to learn that whether Leo was chairing the board meetings, or whether he was in the classroom with students, as he did quite often, or whether he was sharing his time with faculty, that his enthusiasm and his always his desire to have us think big was enormous to Metro State.
So I do know that it's very, very important for Leo and education. And I think it's evident because he's here at Metropolitan State College. In 1993, I believe, Mr. Coors made a very, very, very good decision to hire Mr. Kiely to take the Coors Brewing Company on to another level. Everybody loved Leo, everybody was eager to work with him. You've been a friend, a confidant, mentor, but most of all, you've been my friend.
His legacy will include a number of things. Obviously, the sense of importance that he places on success for individuals, et cetera, as I earlier said. But he also is one of these CEOs that has done a fabulous job of balancing what you do with how you do it. You know, Leo is authentic, genuine, caring, and very, very generous. It's been an honor to know him and an absolute pleasure to work with him. Congratulations, Leo. You very, very much deserve this.
In 2007, I became chair of the board, and that was certainly a privilege. I think public service is important to me because I think in the many years I have watched nonprofit organizations, and now recently in the past decade watched higher educational institutions, that we need all the help we can get. We need a lot of energy and effort and time and commitment from people who care about the mission of these organizations to be sure that we're meeting the needs of the community that the organizations are in. Community, particularly in today's world, needs volunteers.
Adele believes that education is as essential as breathing, that it's part of living, that through education is an opportunity to find out who we are, to find our essential selves, and that those of us who can help teach, that can help educate, that it's our responsibility to do that. And she has done that through her life. The tutoring she's doing now with students at Metro, and also the work that she's doing with my staff, is really helping them find the essence of who they are, helping them find their voice. And I believe that through education, and I believe Adele believes that as well. It's really a dynamic legacy, and I know that she's not done yet.
Adele Phelan has been an advocate for education since way before I met her. Adele was my immediate supervisor, and her commitment to the early childhood community has been inspiring to me and has actually helped to guide me in my current career. Adele, congratulations. I am so excited to be a part of this video, just to be able to congratulate you and talk about the wonderful things you've done. There's no way that anyone could talk about all that you've done in a 2-minute segment or even a half an hour, an hour. Thank you for what you've been in my life. I love you.
Adele has demonstrated through all the things that she has been involved in throughout our community that education is one of the top priorities in her life. Adele's legacy on education is certainly going to be one that's very, very wide. And if you think of it in terms of each individual thing that she's been able to do, it's kind of like an individual fingerprint. But when you add all the things that she's been involved in and all the things together, it becomes a huge handprint. Adele, congratulations on being recognized with your award tonight. Nobody deserves it more than you do.
I don't know if it was random or not, but I sat down with Dr. Jordan when he first came to Metro State, and he wanted to figure out how could we get the legislature more aware of what was going on at Metro State. And so we cooked up this idea of having the Metro State Legislative Caucus. It really is our jewel here in the city, and it was really important that we raise the awareness of everything that Metro does. You all messed up and let me be the commencement speaker back in December of 2008. Which was probably one of the highlights of my 8 years in office, was being able to do that. If you come to my office here at the Capitol where we are right now, I mean, there's art from Metro students all over my office from their art program. And we've had this rotating art exhibit. And Metro has this aviation program and this young entrepreneur program. Find a way to get plugged in and be engaged, volunteer on some of these programs, because it's just really important.
Terrance wouldn't be where he's at today, but for education. So he realizes the importance not only of attaining an education, but using it after you attain it. So he put into practice what he believed was important in his life. And that's what Terrance is all about. It's standing up and doing what's necessary for our society.
Terrance tries to get every degree he can get, and I don't think he's finished yet. Terrance is a brilliant young man. He is one that, wherever Terrance is, he's going to be dedicated. He's going to leave a legacy. He is D.C. born, but he is Colorado dedicated. And that's one thing I like about him. He's focused on where he is and what he's doing at the time.
I've worked with him long before I was governor. And what I'll tell you is, I think Terrance understands that education is the one thing that can make the most dramatic impact in a person who comes from difficult or modest circumstances to change their whole station in life. He personally knows the difference you can make in your life with an education. Terrance, it is just my honor to be able to make comments about you. When they said you were winning the Plain and Fancy Award, I don't think there's anything about you that's plain. There's a lot about you that's fancy, but every award or acknowledgement you get for your public service, you deserve that. You are such a credit to who we are as Coloradans. You're a credit to those of us who are Denverites, and really to people in public service. It's been such an honor to serve with you and see your commitment, see your passion, and your intellect. Thank you. God bless you.